right, Chad, it's April 2nd, 2023. We thought it would be banking news, but now it's gas in OPEC, man. So I was at the gas station. I thought I'd take y'all with me, but they cut production unexpectedly by 500,000. The White House already responded, and honestly, it's cold out here. So I'm gonna get in the car. We're gonna talk about this. But like I was saying, the White House, they already responded to this, and why this is so important is that, one, if you factor in all of the other cuts from like Russia, what's going on right now with Iraq, it is looking like we are about to start having 1.5 million barrels a day less of oil than we initially expected. And then on top of it, if you surveyed any of the economists coming into this OPEC meeting, every single one of them thought nothing was going to happen. So this is a pretty big deal. Like I said, we were probably expecting more things from the bank, but to start off with this, it is going to be an interesting week. So we got a couple of other things we got to talk about. Some of y'all missed the intro, so I think we could run it up there. But first, random play generator, okay? Today is Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. This is the random account generator. We need your help. I need you to post a random option trade, strike price, expiration date, all of that. Post it below, keep it below $100, and hopefully we see you there in the morning. Because I mean, did you not see the market? Did you see any? All right, but let's get into it. Run it, baby. Yeah.
Walking to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
So we got to talk about oil. It was clearly the most surprising thing that happened over the weekend, and it has a lot of implications for this week. But besides that, the only other thing we were going to get this week was the non-farms on Friday. And now, since Friday is Good Friday, I don't know how that's going to play out, but that will be the big focus. So if you didn't see what happened on Friday, I mean, everybody was asking, why are we up? If you don't see this level, we are right back to where we were at pretty much at February 16th or the beginning of January. This was the high point of the market. Last time we were at these levels, everybody was saying no landing. So it's interesting to see. You got the bonds, bond yields came back down. You have nobody talking about no landing, but the only big update that we have had so far now is that, well, maybe this banking problem isn't getting worse. So a lot of people ask me why we were up on Friday. I think the whole narrative of the week, you had that bank healing, and it's not as if anything got better. There wasn't really any good news, but that was just our first week without any bad news. So it was pretty surprising. We wrapped up the first quarter with both gold up, the stock market up, and bonds up, which is quite odd. And then the only thing that actually ended up down ended up being the dollar. So we still got to watch for this stuff, but now let's jump right back to the oil situation. That's why this is going to be interesting this week, because not only is it a surprising event, I told you why in the beginning, but now the real question is, does this bring up all of the inflation fears? I mean, last time OPEC was cutting and oil was moving very, very volatile, it brought up a lot of concerns related to inflation and the CPI. So oil has stayed pretty stable even after the last week bounce. I mean, it's pretty much at the lows of like October all the way through December, but a lot of people are worried because we were already anticipating lower oil supplies, but people were just wondering what's going to happen to the inflation scenario if oil does continue to go back up. So that's why this is going to be very, very big. Really, the way I'm looking at it, this OPEC thing, we're either going to see it actually create a problem and then people really get worried, aka we start watching oil prices skyrocket again. Some people are expecting you need a slower Fed policy for that to happen, or prices might go up for a little bit and then the market may quickly brush this off if you don't see any immediate price swing. So oil is going to be pretty wild, but this is going to be the other update. But like I'm saying, all this week is boiling down to one, it's like, it's not the first priority anymore, but it's on the back of everybody's minds. What happens with the banks? Do we get any other news? The next thing is going to be jobs, and the jobs report is expected to be one of the lowest reports of the year. So people are expecting some softening, but that's going to be on Friday or Thursday. So that'll be towards the end of the week. And then finally now, probably to start off Monday and Tuesday, we're really going to see what happens with oil, OPEC, and everything else. So there's going to be a couple of other things. I think you're going to get PMIs out of like China, Australia, even stuff out of the UK as well. And that could move things. But domestically, I think all of these things may be important. And we are even going to get some like earnings, I think, on Tuesday. It's a couple of smaller companies, a couple of like staple brands. And then I think Walmart on Tuesday, they have some like meeting where they're going to be giving out guidance. So that could be important. And then over the weekend, we heard Tesla, their delivery numbers, they came in above consensus, but people were kind of complaining that it still wasn't 50% growth, but they beat every single estimate. And then WWE, that buyout, we've been making a play on that. There was reports we may find out the buyer by Monday or Tuesday, and EDR was mentioned, Endeavor, as one of the buyers who's probably going to end up buying the company. So besides that, we're just going to be monitoring all of that. I think the only other big headline is CRUDE of Japan. It will be his final week, like actually working there. We already know his replacement, but I think at the end of this week, he finishes up his post and then somebody takes over. So that's what it's going to come down to as far as the plays. I think it's going to be based off of the news. I'm still trying to get neutral, but now to start off the quarter, I mean, I think we should talk about it. Bonds, it's really the same situation we've been saying. A lot of people have even been noticing that the bond yields are holding up, and that same situation we've been talking about is simply yields are up a lot in the short term. This quarter has been one of the best quarters in a decade for bonds. However, you look at the long scale, there is still a lot of room to go. So everybody's just going back and forth. Is this the time to buy bonds? What's the Fed going to do? Is the Fed going to pivot? Are you going to try to get ahead? That's where these bond plays are coming from. Again, do you need safety? That's why I'm saying how this quarter ended out was absolutely wild, simply because you had safe havens up while equities are up. It's not like you saw people selling equities to buy bonds. They were buying both. They weren't selling bonds to buy stocks. They were buying both. So that's what we got to watch out for. But I do think the bonds will be one of the bigger plays here. Let's monitor over the next 4 weeks. I think we'll touch base again there and find out. I still have my TYD position. Otherwise, anything else like through Friday, we've been trying to trim down. I still have like a mini Goldman short that we made for a day trade. And I think that's about it. But overall, I am trying to wind down a lot of things, and I'm going to be focusing on the bonds and yen, but we may need a lot of time. So that's what we got to watch out for. And what I'm going to end it here with is this yearly chart and what happened last March. So if you take a look here, there's that little red line, and a lot of people have been bringing this up. It's been a wild week. It's been a wild quarter with everything going on. But if you remember what happened last March, like even to the day, similar thing. We flushed down to the lows to start the year. You started to bounce right back up there at the end of March. It was a massive rally. And then April, that set off the next wave of things. So why I'm bringing this up is one, not only how it moved last March, but keeping in mind what we learned from last year. And like whether I'm talking about plays, bonds, even this whole situation with banks, is just that now, even with the messaging from Powell and everything else, we are going to need to be very, very patient. So that's why it's interesting with all the headlines. We'll see how stuff like OPEC factors into it all, but it's looking like we will get a whole new story. And just like in 3 months, we're at the same spot, but now you're never heard about no landing, then you heard about no landing. Now at the same place, everybody's ignoring it. That may very well happen in 3 months from here. And that's why these next set of datas, it's going to be important, but I hope you're ready for an uncertain and volatile market. So it's going to be exciting. Hopefully we could start off this brand new quarter. Chattadonia, it's already earnings season as well too in about 2 weeks. So I hope you're ready for it. I love you all. I will see you in the morning, but that is your watch list. So drink that water, stay hydrated, healthy. You already got your intro today. It's going to be a good one. I'm not even feeling that awkward, bro. It was more awkward filming at the gas station. I had people looking at me. They're like, what are you doing? Why are you filming the gas tank? And I'm like, I just looked at them and I look like you should see my lizard ass anyways. But Chad, I love y'all. Okay, get ready. It's Monday. Okay, you saw how crazy Friday was, man. It's a new quarter. So I hope I can see you, and I hope, we could touch base at the end of the video from right now, April till June or July, because it's almost summer, man. But this next quarter will be pivotal. So Chad, you've already made it this far. I love you all. God bless you. Get some rest. Wake up bright and early. And that's it. I'm not even awkward, but I got a glue stick, son. I was doing good. I was doing good on not making it. I don't know why I got a glue stick. All right, when was the last time I'm going to just leave, man. This gave me a weird.